Oh man. Hey everybody. Welcome back to Roll for Fun. It's Tuesday night, so we get to play again. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad to see you here. As always, big shout out to Devin Knight, amazing friend of the channel, and a great supporter since we started this entire adventure over a year ago. So visit him, check him out. He's on Twitter at Devin Knight, and then amoramites.com/token site, link down below, all that good stuff. If you haven't done so yet, maybe bring some friends, introduce them to us. We'd like to get to know them, especially in Discord. It'd be awesome to get to meet everybody out there and hopefully share some more joy and inspiration and whatever it is that you get out of your time with us. We know what we get out of our time with you, but whatever you get out of your time with us, spread the word so we can grow the community and be happier and have more fun together. Don't have any really major announcements tonight. Probably looking to just jump right into it.
The only announcement I might give is just that we have recaps sort of written up, and they'll be going up soon. So eventually you can, if you haven't seen everything, there'll be a nice written version of everything that has happened. So.
Yeah, 100%. I was going to touch on that. Ari's been busting ass with those. Julia's been getting really awesome with the YouTube and the editing. It's just things are growing and developing, and that's thanks mostly to my amazing players for chipping in as the group, and then you all for hanging out with us and supporting us and all that good stuff. So you know, every little bit helps, even if it's just hanging out with us and chatting. We love it. Bringing friends, whatever you can do, support the channel so we can keep doing this and keep growing and improving. It's amazing. All right, so that's gonna wrap that up, and we are gonna jump into tonight's session of Dungeons and Dragons. All right, so last week we came back into the adventure with your heroes in a precarious situation at the Mossy Temple. Sionis had grabbed the Horn of Balmitria and attempted to rapidly escape from the feast hall you found yourselves in with Demetria, a Geigen guardian, and several young ladies. After some combat and running and climbing and slashing and rolling of dice and epic moments, you're able to successfully escape the Mossy Temple in the clutches of Demetria and made your way back to the city of Estoria. Pushing through your exhaustion and scrapes and bruises, you arrived late in the evening. Along the way, Lycus drank from the Horn of Balmitria, instantly passed out, and was slung over the back of Aina.
Best nap ever.
With Lorius in tow and several teenagers that you saved from the Mossy Temple, and of course, Kira and Karina. Once you arrived in Estoria, the teenagers that you had rescued parted ways with you back to their own farmsteads and villages that they had been abducted from, essentially coaxed away from. And you found yourselves at the Dragon Tooth Tavern and Inn, where you chatted a little bit. You reintroduced Karina to the very appreciative Theracles and Atreus, and decided to drink from the horn yourselves before resting for the evening, knowing that the next day would be a momentous one of great importance. The eve of the wine festival is upon you. The city is in turmoil, with Centaur and Cyclops armies impacting them, on top of the drought and the threat of being overrun and razed if sacrifice of Anora, as demanded by the Order of Sidon, is not fulfilled. So, you wake up this morning in your now familiar room in the Dragontooth Inn, each of you wiping sleep from your eyes and taking into account the visions you had and the day's events ahead. Scene is yours.
Euron's a bit hungover. I have to open up with that. Euron is still kind of face down I'm pretty sure you're on passed out on the floor. Does that sound right? You're on passed out on the floor?
We moved you to the bed.
Thank you for moving me to the bed. Euron is still face planted and is like trying to block out the sun as much as possible and is just groaning.
Oh God, what a night! Glorious. Laureate. Oh, what's that weirdo's name? Lore. Hey, buddy, where you at? Oh, maybe he's getting me breakfast. Sweet. I'm gonna get up, roll out of this bed, get my boots on. I love waking up fully refreshed and just feeling wonderful. Oh, how did I get here? Last I remember, I was drinking some of that amazing drink. I'm gonna go get some breakfast.
Euron, Ina's back.
What?
We got you back here on Ina.
Oh, you're in my room?
You're in a shared room.
Wait,
Yes.
what?
You're in a shared room.
Oh. I look over at the lovely Euron and be like, "Good morning, sunshine.
Euron just
How you
groans.
doing?" I just kind of like rub that cheek a little bit. That's creepy as possible, but like, shh, I got you. Breakfast is on me.
Euron tries to take aim for whatever is closest and just tries to like upswing and sucker punch him wherever is closest.
I like bend down to like buckle my boots as a what? Oh no, I got you. You want some wine for breakfast?
Piss off.
I know the best way to cure that. I'll be back, love. And I'm gonna head down and go get some breakfast and wine. Mead. Excuse me. Little honey in the morning. That's me.
Did anyone else have any strange dreams last night?
I mean, yeah.
Yes. Very much so.
Still trying to figure out what mine would have meant. Maybe coming up with a plan for the situation in front of us can help us work through whatever we saw.
I have a name. It is not helpful at present, but I think I have a name for us to chase later. Unless somehow
Okay.
someone here knows who Xander Horath is.
Do I know who that is?
Roll a history check.
5.
5. He is relatively well known. You know that he was one of the Dragon Lords that came over. You know that he was the leader of the Dragon Lords, and like the rest of them, fell in battle during the First War. And also that he rode a silver dragon by the name of Belmitria. The stuff of legends, so to speak. So it'd be pretty hard for you to not know that. Aside from that,
Okay. I think he may have been the dragon rider that rode Belmitria.
Right. Then I saw the way to his grave. The necropolis, I think.
Well, that's super helpful. Well, that is super helpful. That came out super sarcastic, and I did not intend that.
It's alright.
Yeah, that is super helpful.
At this point, Euron's just kind of like, all this is half muffled into Euron's pillow.
I kind of like barge in here and be like, "Good morning."
She needs water.
And I have a platter of bacon and bits of ham and just little tidbits of everything, grapes. I got nice fresh wineskin, some mead. I can't find the water. I think there's a barrel outside. I got this.
okay, if you restocked all that cost you 2 silver.
That's fine. Yeah. No,
Okay.
I got the good stuff. It's my party, my people, my friends. Like Cyanus. Hey, buddy.
Nah.
I pass him the good wine. Good morning, sunshine. Like, I am quite refreshed. Y'all look miserable, but
Did you have fucked up dreams too?
you know, I don't remember. I just remembered being jostled around a lot. And
Please, boy, I glide across this floor, across this ground.
yeah, I remember eyes in the dark. Nothing really worth talking about. Nightmares are nightmares. But how about this breakfast?
I was gonna sit up very, very slowly and
I will just slowly start to feed a piece of bacon to you. It's okay, just go ahead. And I'll pick off little
she's
bits.
so fucking annoyed.
Here
She's
you
just
go.
gonna.
Here you
She'll
go.
probably just snap with the bite.
Little snappy this morning.
just
Yeah.
give me.
Yeah, it's okay. I got you. Yeah, I got a little plate of biscuits and honey right in front of her. Or what passes for honey in this place with those fucking cows and a little bit of honey with milk, kind of syrup dressing. You make honey with
How
cows
do you
here.
know what that was with?
It's honey cream. You ever make honey? He said it's honey, but he said it's from a cow. I don't know how that works.
I'm not even gonna pay attention. It's just gonna shove as much food as possible in your face while trying not to hurl.
Today's the big day, everybody. We need to go save a little girl's life. You kind of just look at everybody.
Any ideas how we're gonna do that?
Well, since the fucking horn was useless and wasted an entire day, I really thought it was gonna be like all the visions and answers we would ever need. But clearly it's just nightmare-inducing fucking terror. So, scratch that one.
Wait, what did you see? You said eyes in the dark?
Mm-hmm.
What did anything we say? I know you guys started talking to the dwarves, but the drink happened. Anything? I'm looking at Ina, like at the dwarves sort of thing.
Oh, I think you were talking to me.
No, he didn't have the knowledge I was looking for, but he said he might know people who do, so he's gonna make some inquiries and get back with me. And if he can, then I promise to, if I go there, to locate his kin and bring them back. So if he can get me the information, then I'll help him locate his long-lost family, their remains anyhow, so we can give them a proper burial. But he didn't have any knowledge, so we're no closer other than he's going to go ask for information on our behalf.
I mean, my vision was kind of vague. Something about me going around a cliff into some big walled-off city. And then there was a crowd of people. And then I was in a palace. I think I was having an audience with whoever ruled that city. Not 100% sure.
The city wasn't familiar to you?
I mean, it kind of looked like Mitros, but I'm not 100% sure. Everything was kind of distorted.
Okay.
What about you, Ina?
I was like in a galley, perhaps, a big water vessel, and there were people rowing this water vessel that I was in, but then as they turned to face me, I could see that there was like no flesh on their faces, and they were just kind of like bone and dead, obviously, or undead, perhaps, maybe. But that was about it. There was kind of like a device that I was looking through at one point, but I don't know what it is. So I don't know. I'm still kind of processing it a little bit. Just trying to like work my way through it, I guess.
So maybe what we also might be helpful in the future. Not right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's good for right now. But it may fall into place soon or in the future.
Y'all had some pretty fucked up dreams. I'm just gonna say it.
I saw the walk in the necropolis where the dragon lords are kept. So, that's future. But
I definitely think we need to go there at some point.
we have to. We need the weapons.
Yes.
I bring Ina a biscuit.
Why can't I have bacon?
You can. I take it off of her plate. Here.
Your arm just doesn't move. It's just focused on
She's done with it.
inhaling whatever is left and then trying to let it just sit and not hurl it on the floor.
Her milk honey.
And then I'm just gonna take whatever's left. Guys, I highly suggest filling up because it's gonna be a long day.
DM, quick question. Is there any indication of how old Anora is? Have we heard any sign?
She's a young woman.
Okay. Okay, if it was a kid, that was gonna be a whole thing.
Hey, where's our third satyr friend?
Did you not see him down in the main room?
Not that I recall.
Everyone check your stuff. Make sure you have everything. He skipped out in the middle of the night. Could have taken some stuff.
I mean, I'm missing a
searched
couple.
for my bag.
I mean, I'm missing a couple of coins, but I think that's basically it. Interesting.
Definitely him. Definitely him. Yeah, that's
Can I insight check that? Can I insight check that sass?
I'm over here getting my plates and my wine and be like, oh yeah, that sounds about right. If I recall correct, you can insight it. He really took it. He took it. You can insight it all you want. I'm telling the truth. Now, I may have told him.
That was a 10 anyways.
Give me a deception check, Josh.
Oh,
Yeah, I just want to see. Let's see something.
That's a 16 natural. What am I doing? Deception. That's a 21. What you talking about? It's like, no, really.
Alright, yeah, sure, okay.
Well, where's he at? Y'all don't want to trust me. Where's he at?
Maybe he went to the market. I don't know.
I don't know. Where did? Yeah,
Kira?
the satyr who doesn't like humans is in the
Kira
market
away?
of humans.
Is Kira in the room? Well,
She's not.
and where did our bard go? Well, other bard.
Apparently there's a more enthralling story taking place elsewhere.
Right. So, what are our options here? Aside from Glorious and Kira, what the hell are we going to do?
Try to talk to the king, which I don't feel is going to do any good because he's just a mess. He doesn't want to sacrifice his daughter, and the closer we get, I think it's going to be worse. Talk to her and try to talk her either A, out of this, or find or maybe we can go talk to that Sidon cunt, whatever his name is, and see if there's an alternative way. We tried it the first time, it didn't work.
He gave one alternative.
Which was what, us? Yeah. All of us or just one of us?
I think all of us.
No, that's not worth it. One woman ain't worth all of me. I don't know. Maybe we should go talk to her. Maybe there's something else that she knows that we don't. Maybe there's like, what if he wants to marry her, and she's like, no, fuck you, and he's like, Sidon, my boy, you're a dick, but go ahead and marry this shit. Maybe there's like a secret agenda we don't know about. If she doesn't marry me, kill everybody, you know? I don't know, Ina. I don't know. I'm brainstorming here. We're in the dark. Anybody else?
I think going and speaking to her is wise.
Oh, haven't been called wise before.
She's a grown woman. As much as I don't want to get on the bad side of a god king at least, she is a grown woman. She can decide what she wants, and if it's one woman or an entire city.
Yes, perhaps this is her purpose. However, I am very hesitant to encourage her in fulfilling or helping to fulfill Sidon's purpose. I'm definitely not going to stand in the way of someone fulfilling their own destiny. But I think we should talk to her and figure it out.
The only other option I can think of is try and trick Sidon. Find a girl who looks like her.
Does it matter which one we sacrifice, or the fact that we're sacrificing a human?
That or one of us plays bait. It's the only other option I can think of.
Let's go talk to Anora, and then when we have more information, we can come up with a better plan. We can rule some things out. Kind of focus it in a little bit, I think.
Mm-hmm. And get some water, like, sort of slaps herself in the face a couple times, try and get the hangover off.
Do you want me to do it?
I still can't feel I don't think I can feel this side of my face.
It's a little early in the morning for that, but I mean, if y'all are feeling frisky.
Fine. Sanus, other side, go for it.
Alright.
Okay, I'm good, let's go.
I just like grab onto Ina's arm, like. A boy got talent.
All right.
Let's go.
Going to try and speak with Anora. Yes? All right. So you leave the room. Ina goes out the larger door in the back to meet you around front. As you travel through the tavern, there's a decent amount of people there eating early morning food, talking. The atmosphere is very nervous, very tense. You see some decorations for the wine festival kind of half-heartedly strung up around various flowers and symbols of Lutheria, things like that. The antlers. Delphion kind of waves from the back of the bar as you walk through, nod, have a good day kind of thing. You exit the Dragon Tooth. You face the Anora. The sun's beginning to rise over the cliffside to the east, over where the vineyards are, back in that recess. You see people milling about the Agora. Guards are stationed. People seem to be not really focused on buying some of the pleasantries, the luxuries, things like that. They're buying more essentials. You see that in the various shops, there's virtually no armor or weapons left by this point. Just ragtag little pieces of arrows and things like that, as obviously some of the citizens are walking around with like oversized armor clanking around or fumbly trying to mess with a sword through the streets as they're preparing themselves for whatever tomorrow may bring. You see Glorious. He is in the Agora. There's a merchant that came from, probably by the look of her wares, somewhere from around the Old Wood, and he's just kind of going around to all these various different flowers and herbs and sniffing them and playing with them and kind of like putting them in his hair and kind of wrapping them around his horns and things like that. You also see a kind of a haggard, very, very thin, frail-looking individual. His clothes are decent enough, but his face is gaunt. His skin seems kind of stretched thin, like he hasn't eaten in a very long time, and he's kind of shambling around to different people, and he'll throw this little necklace up kind of in their face, like he's beseeching them to, like he's trying to hawk it, basically. And people will talk to him for a minute and then kind of scurry away hurriedly, with their eyebrows raised and a look of kind of fear or surprise in their eyes.
Euron is intrigued.
Aside from the general hubbub of the community, of all you see at the moment, the Agora outside of the Dragon Tooth. So, what would you like to do? Where would you like to go?
I'm gonna try and get that old man's attention, so I can see what on earth is happening with that.
Okay.
I look at Ina. Ina, do you require any? Have y'all all restocked since they said it looks like the shops are quite barren? All the essentials are gone, including the oils.
I'm probably just gonna grab some potions. After that, I should be alright. Think after we check on Anora, I need to go talk to Theracles. See if we can maybe get some equipment out of him.
At the very least, I think if he promised dinner, if I remember that faintly. Oh, no. I don't know, it's all blurry.
Okay. So I got Euron is going to go intercept this individual with the necklace. And everybody else is just kind of milling about or making your way towards the palace, or...
Yeah, I'll kind of keep an eye on Euron, make sure this old man, if, like, everyone is reacting to him that way, like, I'm not going to let her go into that alone. I'd rather be there in case something happened. So I'll kind of, like, follow, like, at a distance a little bit. Just, like, watch. But close enough to, like, if he makes a wrong move, like, I can be there.
Okay. You got it. Soundus and Lycus, anything in particular? Or hanging out?
Hey, who was that rich guy that owes us for saving his daughter? What was that? Anybody?
What, Theracles?
Ah, yeah, that guy. Does he owe us one? Like, is he anyone important?
I mean, he did say he was gonna help us out. So, we can either go, like, hit him up right now or in a bit.
I think we should go talk to Anora and then maybe keep that in the back pocket that he might be able to help with whatever. I think we need more information here. We're just kind of all over the place. So, I just wanted to make sure we remember that.
And then I'm just gonna go over to one stall and buy, like, 2 health potions.
I'm gonna follow Euron.
Alright, let's see if you can find some Sinus. Go ahead and give me an investigation check. So Euron and Lycus are going both over to this individual, and Ina's kind of hanging back. Okay. Go ahead and resolve that real quick. What's your roll?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Alright. Let's see. I will say real quick that you are able to find someone with potions of healing. He's kind of an herbalist type individual, but he has a couple kind of kept underneath the shelf. He recognized you as one of the heroes of the prophecy, but because of the scarcity, they are going for 125 gold each. He has 3 of them.
Nope. Nope, that's way too much.
Okay, so you just kind of walk off and go elsewhere?
Steal it, steal it. Do you need a distraction?
I was looking to see if I had anything I might be able to like replace it with.
Yeah, I'm nowhere near him.
But yeah, if I can, I'm gonna try like sleight of handing one off of the table.
Really?
There's like 2 potions, only 1. What happened? No idea.
I don't know, something cracked. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
This is out of character. You have a golden arrow you can hawk. If you're desperate, but...
I mean, I'm not gonna hawk that. I kind of need that.
Alright, so he's got 3 potions right there. He's talking to you, kind of looking at you face to face. How are you going to sleight of hand this? They're in little like clay decanters with like wax seals over the top and a bit of string, so you know. It's one of the stalls, fabric over the top, wooden desk type setup. There's kind of a logo, for lack of a better term, painted on the stall itself. There's people walking around constantly, pretty crowded. People are kind of in a general din getting their supplies.
Well, at this point, then I'm just gonna pull out the golden arrow. I'm like, hey, bud, like, you know what this means?
It's quite a fancy arrow. Never seen one quite like that. What's
Okay,
it to you?
But do you know what this means about me?
Oh yes, I know that you have a golden arrow. I know that you're one of the heroes of the prophecy. I know that you need some healing potions. I know that I have 3, and these may be the only 3 in all of Estoria. What else should I know?
Never mind. I'm just gonna turn around and walk away.
Okay. All right. So you're on your approach this individual. You see he's talking to like a husband and wife and a couple of children, and they kind of grab their kids and scurry them along the road. Turns and sees you. You see his eyes are kind of sunken in a little bit. They're wide. See as you approach kind of with interest, he kind of hobbles up to you holding it out high.
Hello, miss. How are you? My name's Klaus. It's a pleasure to meet you. Are you in the market for a necklace? I have a very fine necklace, a very fine magical necklace. It would look beautiful on you. That's very,
what
very,
kind of magic are you referring to?
Oh, it's the kind that you take. See, they had more. You take one of these gems, and
he's pointing. There's several sockets now with a single gem left, kind of off center to the right. It's a little emerald, and then there's some kind of emerald filigree around it. Otherwise, it's silverish in appearance. There's a single gem, and it's kind of in a starburst type cut.
These are this is a magical necklace, like I said, and you take the gem and it allows you to cast magic. Makes a fiery explosion.
I'm insight checking the absolute fuck out of this man.
Feel free to do so.
And this beautiful, magical, amazing necklace can be yours for just 1 gold piece, just a single gold piece.
That was a 7.
7. He seems fervent. He seems like he really wants you to buy this necklace. Aside from looking kind of haggard and out of sorts, can't really pick up anything else.
Can I do an Arcana check on it? The necklace?
And can I recognize what symbol that, if there's a symbol on it, that...
There's no particular symbol.
Okay.
Roll a 2.
Okay.
How,
Not ringing any bells for you.
How skinny does this man look?
Very, like, malnourished, skinny. To the point where his stomach's starting to kind of distend a little bit.
Where did you get the necklace from?
Oh, kind sir, this would look amazing on you too, might I say.
Wouldn't it?
Oh, it would. It would accentuate your eyes and frame your lovely beard. So dull. You could even put it on his beautiful horns. I could polish them for you too, for an extra silver.
You'll polish my horns for an extra silver?
Oh yes. Anyway, I came across it. I found it in my travels.
I think he has a deal. I'm good.
I'll buy it if you don't.
Well, no, I think the man. I think he needs a gold. Like I think he could use a gold. Especially if we're all gonna die anyway. Whatever.
How about, may I up the ante a little bit? I'm not stealing it from you, Science. I'm getting a little extra here. Well, how about if he'll buy it from you for what you just agreed? And how about if I give you an extra gold if you tell us exactly where you got it?
No, 1 gold will do just fine. Yeah, that's plenty.
You stole it.
What?
From
Oh,
behind
you.
From behind you,
you
hear.
really don't want us to know.
All right, now, that's quite enough. Go ahead and tell them exactly. You hear Kira walking up next to you. Exactly where you got that from. What do you mean? I told him where I got it from.
Yarlin's gonna lean in just a little bit, and one of the snakes is just gonna peek out just slightly, and just go, "Are you sure you don't remember?"
House, you know that this won't work unless you tell them anyway. So you might as well tell them, otherwise it'll just come right back to you.
Oh, I get it now.
All right. I got it from the necropolis at Telemark, okay?
That's, you got it. You're cursed.
Yes, he is. The curse of the treacherous. If he doesn't sell it to someone, if someone doesn't take it willingly from him, then it returns to him. And meanwhile, he can't keep any food down. Can you, Klaus?
No, not quite. But it's still a really good deal.
And what happened, and Kira, I confess I've never come across the curse of the grave robber. What happens to us if we buy it?
Then it's your curse.
If we buy it, or
If you accept it knowing its origin in any way.
we become cursed.
The curse transfers to you, as does the item. Yes.
Then how about I'll change it this way? How the hell did you get into the necropolis?
Not really sure what that has to do with anything, but I snuck past the guard. Why do you ask?
How in the name of sanity did you sneak past the guard?
You seem very interested in this.
I'm not buying that from you.
Oh no, understood.
I'm cursed once enough already.
Got it, yeah. I'd rather yours, but I'll tell you. If you find somebody to take this necklace.
Kira,
Hold on
real quick.
one moment.
So,
Yes.
if we take the necklace
Yes.
without knowing what it is, if he just was like, here, take this, and we took it, we would be cursed.
No.
No.
If you know its origin and you accept it, then you take the curse unto yourself. If he gives it away or sells it or someone takes it without that knowledge, then it simply returns to him at dawn and he retains the curse until the curse is broken or he dies.
So if you give it to somebody, so if he gave it to me and then told me what it was, then it still would return to him if I was like, I don't want that.
Yes.
Fuck. I look about Euron, I was like, I'm thinking about that Sidon fuck guy.
They must accept it willingly.
Yeah.
What happens when the last stone is used, though, to create magic? Is the curse still in effect then, or is it gone?
The curse is because they stole a valuable, well, and any item, really, from a consecrated tomb. It doesn't matter what you do with the item after that.
I'm gonna maybe draw Kira to the side and just go, you have a better memory than I do for this moment. That's the guard, Damon.
Yes.
Would one coin work for the whole group? Or do we need to sneak by? Work for one coin for one person.
That is an excellent question.
You know that. That's the only reason I ask.
I would have to say yes. Damon was known to be a very just individual, and the coin that received is known as, well, at least in longer ago times, as a form of passage. I have no reason to believe that he wouldn't.
Thank you.
What happens when he dies from malnutrition? Or from no nutrition?
The item returns to its place.
How long?
Its original place.
How long have you had this?
About 2 weeks.
Do not have long left, good lord. I could just kill you now if you would like to avoid prolonging it.
No, there's still plenty of people I can talk to, thanks.
Well.
Good luck.
What? Wait, no, don't you want to know how to get in? Don't you want to help me out? You look like heroes. You can help me.
Yeah. Do you know how to not have the God King's daughter sacrificed to appease that Sidon fucker?
Yeah.
Do you happen to know that? Huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you if you get somebody to take the necklace.
Or how about we make a deal?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you tell us and it works, I'll take the necklace.
Oh. I'll be right back.
Yeah, take your time.
He turns and you see he walks 3 or 4 steps and then goes up to another group of people and starts showing him the necklace, starts talking to him.
At this point, I just walk up and I'm like, hey guys, what I miss?
Do not take that necklace if that man tries to give it to you.
Well, no, he could take it. If he doesn't know what it is, it returns back to that guy.
Don't know what.
Nothing.
Don't ask.
Okay.
It's one of those literally the least you know. The little you know, the safer you are.
True. So, towards the palace then?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Do you want to bet that Pythor is drunker than I was this last night?
I mean, we saw him the first day we were here. Of course he's drunker than you were. Plus he can probably actually handle his liquor.
Oh, fuck off! I mean, true, but...
Yeah, I guess, to the palace.
All right. So, Kira in tow. Make your way up the streets of Estoria to the north towards the palace. Upon arrival, very familiar scene. All these marble structures around you, being as tall and glorious and beautiful as they are dwarfed by the beauty of this very large palatial building. The large doors open for you as the guards allow you in, knowing exactly who you are. And you see Pythor there, sitting on his throne in the center of the meeting hall. There's several kind of upper class looking individuals of various races chatting amongst themselves or talking to him. And he's very much has the similar... My brain is not working right now. I was going to say he's the same posture, you know, hand on the hammer hilt and just kind of rubbing his eyebrows as you walk in. There are the same guard that summoned you when you first came to Estoria is there. There's nobles, there's Pythor, Petting. What would you like to do? Who would you like to talk to?
I'm going to go over to that guard and go, where might we find the way to the dungeon?
The dungeon, it is, well, you go through the back of the hall. There's an external entrance that we use for less reputable entrances and exits, or you can go around the right there, and I'd be happy to escort you if you have business with someone in the dungeon.
That'd be lovely if you could. Thank you.
All right, let me just go clear it with King Pythor, and I'll be right back. Walks through the hallway. Talks for a second to King Pythor. He looks up, he looks at you, looks back at him. Stands up. Waves you over. Hands on his hips. And kind of down. Like to approach him?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Good morning, your soberness. And I pull out a, shall we? My wineskin. The mead. I pull out the mead.
His face is very, very serious, kind of dire.
Oh, never mind. I retract that statement entirely. I didn't know we had dire going on here.
Yeah, he does. I think you're poking fun at me, but I also think I've earned it. I am, in fact, sober for the time being. Why? First of all, welcome. I received word from Theracles that you assisted him. You have my gratitude, even though it pales in comparison to theirs. But more importantly, why have you come here? Why do you seek entrance to the dungeon? Although I may guess.
I would believe your guess is appropriate. Wouldn't he, Euron?
Yes. But in addition, we're trying to explore any option we can to save your daughter. And one of those, to me, involves getting a good look at her face.
Well, Ira trusts you, then so must I. You're the only hope I've got, so just please find a way to save her and save my city. I could have and should have done more, but anyway.
We will
Permission granted.
try our absolute best.
I trust you will.
Hey, sir, perhaps there is something we might have that maybe could kind of jar you a little bit, help you out here. I rumble through Euron's backpack.
Go
and
ahead.
I pull out the horn. Care for a sip?
All right.
You might see something we couldn't.
Yeah, you might see something we couldn't.
He's also gonna pass the hell out.
As he takes it and he starts drinking, I'm like, that's the horn. That's the horn of Balmitria, apparently.
He takes a swig. He looks at you and you say that, puts it down. I know.
Oh. Oh well, I guess everybody just fucking knows everything around here.
Tastes a little bit older. Why is this not in the reliquary?
It was stolen.
Hands it back to you. Oh. And you recovered it then?
We hope we might find answers within it.
You?
Not to the current situation, no. Hence why we want to talk to your daughter.
How many times have you tried?
Each of us. Once. And unfortunately, because we are mortal, makes us keel over every time.
The horn has been known to give various visions to the same individuals. Seems to do so at an appropriate fashion and time of its choosing, I suppose, or whatever other power drives it. Balmitria would know, but Balmitria is not here.
Clearly. Horn of Balmitria.
Nah.
Stuffing it back in the backpack.
Well, anyway, I suggest you return it to the reliquary so it can resume its rightful place of worship. At your earliest convenience, of course. You have much to attend to, so please don't let me keep you.
Your shit just got robbed by Demetria, crazy bitch of the Sister Oracle. How's it safer in the reliquary? What? Okay, yeah, we'll return it soon.
After
I'm sure.
today, I will post guards there 24 hours because of whatever occurred.
Yeah, well, after today, there may not be a reliquary.
Neron's gonna put her hand over his Lycus's mouth. It happened. I'll do something of that to make up for that. Thank you. We will go on our way now.
All right.
Fucking centaur.
Back down. And eyebrows. Captain leads you off to the side down the hallway. The marble hallway passes a couple of small rooms. Seem to be almost like storage rooms of some type. Nothing really remarkable except for like very old paintings of old battles and stuff featuring Ithor, and also some royal type paintings and tapestries of an individual you don't recognize. Very fit man, very short beard and kind of blonde hair, flicked back in this resplendent, gaudy armor, and various tapestries and arts. And you see the city of Estoria. Anyway, as you kind of walk past that, you go down several flights of stairs, 2 or 3 of them. They turn and turn again. And the dungeons are more of kind of an open room that mirrors. It's largely an open room that mirrors the palatial hall above it, but off on all the sides are various offshoot hallways, and in them are cells. As you go into this room, you see many armor racks and weapon racks that are empty at this moment. Storage chests. You see some beds. This looks very much like a last stand type place if they need to. And then you see a couple of guards down here, just kind of patrolling back and forth and talking to some of the prisoners here. He leads you down, brings you to the middle of the room, around. All right, so this is the dungeon. Welcome.
Where might we find Her Highness?
The princess, this way. Turns and walks down the first hallway to the left, and you see she is in a cell, of course, but this cell has like several rugs on the floor. There's big sumptuous blankets and a thick mattress made of feathers and all sorts of stuff. They have plants and things in it, as comfortable as it could possibly be. And you see Anora sitting there on the bed. She's kind of writing something on a scroll. or perhaps drawing. Long brown hair, very, very fine, beautiful dress. It's blue with kind of white trim on it, some slippers on, and she hears the commotion as you walk up to the outside of the cell. Princess Anora, you have visitors here. Your father sent them down. Puts the scroll down, stands up, puts her hands in front of her. I am Princess Anora. Pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Oh, wow.
Your Highness.
Unnecessary, but appreciated.
Does she happen to have any, like, what does she look like?
Relatively long brown hair down at the bottom of her shoulder blades. A light blue dress with white trimming on it. She has various pieces of silver jewelry on it. Most of the gems are either green or blue. Her eyes themselves are brown, but her eyebrows are kind of very, very light brown, almost blondish. It's kind of remarkable. She isn't wearing any makeup, but she has a very natural beauty, and she holds herself with poise and grace, but also humility. Is there anything in particular you're asking about?
I'm sort of asking her height and build, in addition to the hair color.
Oh,
basically, is she about 5'6" and slightly stocky?
I was gonna say she's about 5'8". She doesn't have a dainty frame, if that's a fair term. Very average build. She seems like she's lived a comfortable life, but she hasn't gone to excess nor worked very hard. Not really sure what else you're looking for.
That's what I needed.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Is there any way, because I'm sure you know why we're here, kind of, we know what you're doing for your kingdom, for your people. Why are you doing this? Do you really believe they're going to stop these droughts, the centaurs? Do you really believe they're going to stop this with your death?
I do.
I admire your faith, at least.
Well, faith is a funny thing. It often comes to you when you run out of other options. It's not that I believe so much as what they threaten is capable of happening. And I can't afford to take that chance. My people are already starving and crops are drying up. The armies are there. I couldn't live with myself if I hid and let the city fall around me just to gain a few more years.
What has the city done to try to stop Sidon?
1 second, I'm sorry.
God, I don't want her to die.
I can see her go.
I apologize. She had dirt on the bottom of her foot that was hurting her. Checks out. So, what has the city done to fight back Sidon, or?
Yeah, to resist Sidon in any way. Like what led us here?
How is this the best damn idea?
we've always been the bulwark against, no offense, but the raids of your kin, looking at Ino, from the steppes, and the Cyclops and the other threats from the steppes, protecting the Heartlands. We turned away largely from Sidon and Lutheria after the First War, as did many of the other settler communities. They demanded we stop worshipping the Five. The very gods who saved us in our hour of direst need from the armies of Sidon and Lutheria. And since we have not done that, they're trying to force us to. The drought and the raids and the armies. We haven't done anything to anger the Lord of Storms, as far as I know, aside from worshipping others than him. But that's always been the case.
You don't think this is coincidental that the timeline lines up with the removal or with the closure of the pact, the peace pact that was signed?
That is it.
He's gonna fuck this town up whether you die or not. He's just enjoying the torment of your father in the process, and the joke that's going to occur to say, I got your daughter to sacrifice herself to me, oh God, King of the five gods, and now I'm still going to fucking destroy your town and all your people. Suck on that for life, because he's gonna have to live with that forever.
My dear, we do not want... I recognize that your desire to save your people is righteous and admirable. I fully recognize that. But we do not want your sacrifice to be in vain. And we do not... And we worry, as my friend has said in a much more blunt way, that your people may still be in danger. I also admit that your father very much hopes that we are able to save you. And that is part of why he asked why we are here.
I'm not naive. I'm sure once the Oath of Peace ends, war will come again and they will finish what they started. But this buys us more time. And if the Oracle is to be believed, then those who stand before me may be able to stop it anyway. So either I die now or later, but either way I die. But this way, perhaps the city will be saved. If I don't, then I die and the city. People, these children.
Thank you.
Do you really believe that Sidon and Lutheria are stronger than the Five?
I know the legend says that they formed the Oath of Peace because both sides had been so devastated that nothing would remain if the war was fought to its complete end. So at the very least, they're as strong.
So why are you throwing your lot and your trust into Sidon and Lutheria's camp? Pushing your actions behind their power, not the power of the Five.
Because my father can't do anything to stop it. and neither can any of the other gods. The oath of peace binds their hands. Sidon doesn't act directly, and his allies, the guards, the people, they can't stand up to this army. I know that their army is more powerful than our city. Titans and gods be damned, it doesn't matter.
While I understand why you wish to walk the path that you have set out before you, I think that any faith and any strength and any bravery, any courage that is left in the army of this city will die with you. Because you are setting the example that you can't trust Pythor, you can't trust the other four, that you need to bend to the will of Sidon. So what will happen then?
Roll a persuasion check. Okay. I never considered myself a symbol along those lines.
From what I hear about the city, they love you more than they love Pythor.
You are the heart of Estoria, my dear. What happens to something when its heart stops beating?
I do not want to die.
I know. If her hands are up near the bars, I would like to kind of take one in my hand and my hands and like give it a squeeze.
You got it. We are running out of time.
At least let us come up with an alternate course that we can present to you, and then you can decide. Like, let us help you maybe think of an alternative.
Let us try.
If you can find a way to prevent this, I will not. I will wait until the last moment.
Thank you.
That is all we can ask for.
I know that, and you know as well, my lady, looking at Ina. Centaur of the Plains have a very strict code of honor. Sometimes doing battle to settle disputes. I can't go so far as to advise you take that route. That is an option. And I can only guess that staying on the Rock of Esther overnight would subject me to those basilisks. I do not believe they are divine creatures. They must come from somewhere. I don't know what abilities you have, and I do not wish for you to die on my behalf. But if you can safely find a way to avert this, then I'd be forever in my debt. And if not, don't weep for me, just... You said I was the heart of the city. So if this heart dies, then perhaps you all can be the new heart. My father doesn't have it.
Why is that? What is your father's deal?
I don't think she's heard our oracle readings to call us the heart.
He just doesn't match all the stories that I've heard of him.
That's because the stories you hear are ancient tales. True, but ancient. once he usurped the previous king, he's always been a lover of the mortals, especially the most beautiful amongst us. He's taken many mortal lovers, mortal wives, but they disappear. Wives, children. He's being tormented by a green dragon, calls herself Hexia. Over the ages, he's lost dozens of wives and children. Every time he finds happiness is snatched away, driving him deeper. One can only bear so much. He is still a great man in his heart. He's just lost. I fear permanently. But he means well.
Thank you, my dear.
It doesn't help that he hasn't been able to fight in 500 years. At least nothing worth the god of battle's time.
We will return later. We have a lot to think about.
Forward to it. I hope you bring good news.
Say, could you run that whole sacrifice by the stone rock thing by me one more time? So, you go to a rock, which is where?
The Rock of Esther. It's just outside the city in the Arcanum River.
Outside the city, in the river?
In the river, in the shallows. There's
shallows.
a shallow ford there that connects the east and west banks. You go, if you went out the front gate, you'd see it off to your right.
Okay.
It's a sacrificial rock. The order many sacrifices there.
Oh, wonderful. I'm sure it's pleasantly smelling. So you get strapped to said rock, and then Basilisk, restrained. Maybe they'll use silk. So you get strapped to rock, and then Basilisk just show up and eat you or petrify you.
Both.
Perhaps he looks at you. So you have seen one of these sacrifices. They've been doing them daily for months now.
I saw them doing it to a cow. Yes, when I was last here.
They have not been doing them to people. But to cows. That's why it's part of why we have no livestock to feed ourselves with.
Well, y'all just went down the fucking rabbit hole, didn't y'all? Oh my god. And where the hell does the basilisk come from?
I can show you.
You could show me where the basilisk come from?
I think so. DM, could I?
You can show them where you saw the sacrifice and what you saw at the sacrifice. As far as where they come from, like their origin point.
And I can at least show you where I saw it happen. And give you sort of the direction that I saw things come out. Come towards it. That's about the most I can do. We have to go talk about this. Thank you, my lady.
Should we not offer the lady a final drink, perhaps? My lady, would you care to share a cup of wine? Your father toasted with us, and I mean, if this may be the final, if we cannot find a suitable replacement to save the city.
Euron sort of tapping her backpack and looking at is this what you mean?
Yes, the fine vintage in your backpack.
All right.
Be my honor.
Okay. I'll reach out and thank you, love. All right, and ladies first. This is a wonderful vintage from the horn.
Are you handing her the horn?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to get it from the source.
I was just making sure. Do you have a goblet or a
No,
cup?
no. Unfortunately, we don't. But it's tradition.
I can't drink from the horn.
Why not? Just drink.
Because I need my senses about me for the trials ahead.
You can't. You have to be awake and present. You can't just be unconscious.
This is the last day with my people.
But you are
I'd
not
like to
with
be
them. You are
aware.
in a dungeon.
I have visitors. And I can hear them.
Okay.
You cannot say we did not try that, at least.
Man, it was worth it.
Open backpack.
I swig a little bit into my cup. Alright. Well, we'll see you soon. Maybe.
The gesture is much appreciated. Thank you. I will see you soon. I'm just sit back to bed and back to scribing whatever she's scribing. Bart starts walking away, leading you down the hall. Is there any other business in the dungeon, or would you like to go somewhere else?
Is there a room somewhere with a nice door nice thick door that no one else is in that we happen to walk by?
You could easily go off into one of the little storage rooms you saw on the way down, if that's what you're asking. There's also various alleyways and things like that.
I think a nice quiet spot to talk could be a good idea. So, as we come up to one, I'll tell the guard that we can find our way from here, thank you. And sort of gesture, say like, need a place to chat, this is as good as any. Open the door.
Alright, at the end of the storage room, there's several crates and barrels that you can sit down or lean up against. It's big enough for all of you. About 10 by 15 or so. Various rolled up canvases and things like that on the walls, a couple of sconces there. Close the door behind you with a little quiet thud. You're all alone.
I do not want to let a heart like that die. Good lord.
I tried to knock her out.
Well, what do we think our best course of action is? Maybe tracking the basilisk. If they're no longer an issue, they can't be
the
sacrificed to.
Yes.
Yeah, if we take out the basilisk, there can't be a sacrifice. What would happen after the deadline, though? That's my only question.
Well, in addition to dealing with stopping the sacrifice potential from happening, the basilisks, we need to do something about that army. Because if nothing happens, there's still a force that can attack Estoria.
Yes, but perhaps being able to save the princess will help rally the forces here. It might lower morale in Sidon's army.
And there might be a loophole here. It's actually, yes. Because Pythor can't command those forces. Right? Pythor can't fight against the forces of the Titans.
Pythor can't, but his people always could.
Are you suggesting we try and command an army?
That is unfortunately what I'm thinking, yes. It is a long shot. It's a massive fucking long shot, but if... It's the only other thought I can think of.
I'm not opposed to doing a one-on-one battle between me and their strongest centaur. But I think we need to take care of first things first. I think we need to negate the basilisk danger, and then we can just snowball things after that. But if we try to take care of everything at once, we're not gonna succeed. We need to just focus on one thing, get it done, and then focus on the next thing.
Real quick, while everybody's thinking very critically about this whole situation, everybody roll me an insight check.
Alright, new dice. Not new dice, different dice. Come on. You're going to fucking jail.
I rolled a
All right.
6.
6. Austin.
7.
Ari 4. Lycus.
19.
19. Okay. All right. So, hearing everybody thinking about the Oath of Peace, how, Ithor can't act directly against Sidon or his allies, right? Likewise, Sidon can't act directly against 5 gods. That kind of gets you thinking. You remember, it's going to require some thinking on your part as well. I'm not just going to spill everything for you. You remember that the Order of Sidon decreed that Princess Anora must be brought to the Rock of Estor and left there overnight as a sacrifice to Sidon. If this is done, then the army of Centaur and Cyclops will not destroy the city. They will go back and disperse to do other things. And the drought will also cease. That was kind of implied, but not kind of assumed that will happen. As in, Sidon will be appeased. So, very particular... You catch on some very particular phrasing.
Holy fuck, I get it. I don't have the high insight roll, so I can't say anything.
No, that's Lycus.
I don't got a fucking clue what y'all talking about. I just rehashing everything he just said. Like, all right.
Y'all can talk about it out of character, it's fine.
There's nothing in it about her dying.
Oh,
she just has to be chained to the rock overnight. So, if we kill the basilisks and chain her up overnight, let her stay there, and just make sure she doesn't die. They're bound by that word.
Alright.
Sorry, that's my guess.
Devil's in the details.
I mean,
Okay.
Sidon has shown that he's been like all about loopholes, so yeah. I mean, sounds good.
Euron is like so excited right now.
No, that's Ari excited. Euron is sitting here puzzling over and having no idea what's going on, because you're the only one with a high enough insight roll to recognize what I just said.
I got this. Eureka! I've got it! Everybody, come here, I've got this! Listen, the devil is in the details.
Do tell.
Does not the agreement state that the lady must merely be chained and held overnight? And then the army would disperse? Or so implied, but the centaurs and the Cyclops would not destroy the city? So, in effect, if we merely ensure that she is present and chained to the stone as per the terms, we just have to keep her alive. Damn, I'm so good at this!
Just gonna pat him on the head.
Well, I mean, we could still go look for the basilisk. We could still try to find out where they are and perhaps destroy them and kill them beforehand. Or if not, we'll have to do it in the dead of night at the stone, and there is a greater risk that she may be turned to stone herself.
Just so I'm clear, can any, just for future reference, not for the kill the basilisk part, can any of you see in the dark?
Well, does it have to be really dark, or can we light torches around?
That's the only. I mean, we still can. Yes, that's sort of what I was asking, because that is a little bit of a dead giveaway. That's we said.
Well,
but it just says nothing about.
We could put them around the area, and then we just stand outside of it, or sit outside of it, or whatever.
And it says nothing about her being chained up there alone. So, there should be allowance for guard.
Should we go kill that Sidon fucker?
I mean...
For insurance?
I mean, he's probably going to end up trying to go down there to make sure she's dead by the morning.
Or do it himself.
Yeah, so...
If he trusts in his psycho god that much, he may ensure that this job gets done by his own.
Basilisk first. Basilisks first. Then see if we can. Then see if we can murder Gaius next.
I am damn okay with that.
Yes. All right.
1, 2, 3, team.
Now let's go see if I remember where.
Random air.
And now let's see if I remember where I saw that sacrifice.
Hey, we get one favor from the God King. Can anyone think of something?
Like asking him where the basilisk might be?
Or maybe like a contingent of guards?
That's true.
I mean...
That's actually not a bad idea.
Of course it's not a bad idea. I requested it. Did you not just see the way I came up with the answer to the riddle? Full of good ideas.
That or something that works really goddamn well at killing basilisks.
Ooh. Perhaps let's go talk to him real quick and ask him some questions.
Yes.
Now that we have a thread to pull, let us unravel this web. Rug.
Yeah.
Whatever you people thread.
Tapestry.
Shirt. Whatever.
I was no good at weaving, but I remember that.
To the throne room!
Okay.
And you see my little furry hoop butt and running.
Door swings open, scurrying. You see Lycus rush up to the throne. Everybody else makes their way behind.
Measured pace, like practically marching.
You got it. You were kind of hovering there with you. You talked with Anora then?
Yes, we did, God King. And we may have some really good news.
I would love to hear good news.
But first... You have a really tall chair. Excuse me. Is there... Alright, I think we're alone.
Yeah,
No, you're good. I'm just making sure no one else can hear us. No one else can hear us, right?
I can dispatch my attendants to several nobles that are in the area.
If you could, a moment.
We're gonna need a minute.
Right. Get out!
Jesus.
I
almost left.
Alright. I think we're alone now.
Simply put, this is... She's going to point at Lycus and go, his idea. We'll see how it goes, but... The order specified that Anora had to be chained to the rock overnight, correct? That was the specific words?
Yes, that was what they decreed.
Never said she had to be alone. Or that she had to die. It just says she has to be there all night, and then he'll call them back. Do you have any assistance for us from murdering the absolute shit out of some basilisks? And then guarding her overnight so she can't die?
I see what you're doing.
Zidon has loopholes.
Yeah.
Why don't we exploit them?
I mean, I could send, I could rouse some guards from their sleep and send them with you.
Or the whole fucking cavalry.
Well, yes.
Cavalry is working on
the keep
keeping...
the city protected, of course. Just tell me what it is. I swore an oath of service. I will do whatever I can.
This is not utilizing that oath. I mean, this is just common sense. We'll get back to the...
I understand, of course. Yes, I'm just saying I can send people to help you as much as I can, whatever you need.
We would like, if possible, I think, and anyone here, please correct me if I'm wrong here, some guards to come with us so that we can more effectively kill basilisks, and if there's perhaps anything special in your armory that you've been saving for a rainy day.
You could take this.
What's that?
You see this glorious looking warhammer, finely engraved with all manner of different battle scenes of figures fighting, centaur, Gigans, humans, elves. It's made of bronze, but there is like silver on either end of the blunt. The haft is kind of ornately carved down into a handle that's wrapped in fine leather. It seems very, very old, but at the same time in immaculate condition. As you hold it, it feels extremely light. It feels like it's pulsing with some type of energy.
Why would we want that?
I will step up and accept it. I will bow as I take it. Tell him I'll use it with the utmost respect and for the glory of Estoria.
This hammer was made by my father Vulcan. They use it to craft all the weapons of the First War. Well, the good ones. I've killed thousands with it. Seems my fighting days are over, but I have a feeling you could put it to good use. After this is done, perhaps you can bring the hammer to my father and he can help forge your own weapons. Anyway. That's the only weapon of any repute I have. All the other ones have been lost or stolen or broken long ago, besides the ones you see on my guards around us. How many people do you need?
DM, how many people will be in a regular squad?
So if you're looking for like scouts, 2 to 3. If you're looking for like an armed guard, a small little hoplite force, 6 to 8.
Looking for the Basilisk hunting party size.
How many do you ask for? And what kind of people?
Hoplites.
It's y'all's decision. Don't look at me like that.
I've already. Did these basilisks nearby? Do they live nearby? Is this a normal thing? Is this something that people have to be worried about? Are there people who hunt basilisks for fun? Maybe they'll be our friends. Maybe they're the people we're looking for. Because if we just send an army out there, these things are going to show up, look at everybody, and all of a sudden, now we have a stone army. So I'd rather see if there's any people, a guild. Is there a hunters guild?
Monster hunters?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's their definition of monster first? But yes, the outlandish monsters, not the Ina.
You see, I have a god weapon in my hand, right?
No, honey. I'm sorry.
And you are aware that one of us has literal snakes coming out of her head and would be more fitting of a description of as a monster.
Exactly. We don't need them hunting us. The other white meat. Thank you.
Either, do you happen to know such a guild?
We don't have an organized presence. I have scouts in the Guardians that the city guard that they patrol. They've been patrolling day and night the steps in the area around, keeping tabs on the Centaur. They may have seen something, maybe not, but they could help you track. As far as their abilities, I'm happy to send them, but considering what you've already done, I'm willing to bet that you are at least individually more able than they are. You're welcome to have the bodies.
Blade helps.
Yeah,
I
understand completely.
I suggest some scouts, a small group of scouts if possible, and if possible, if you have a few hoplites to send with us.
Will be done. When and where do you need them?
Have them meet us at the rock.
The Rock of Estoria.
Yeah.
How soon?
As soon as you can. We are
Give me
going
30.
hunting.
I will send Jericho. Plays one of the cards over. Talks to him for a minute, scurries off. He's going to rouse the finest ones I have that are here and not scouting already. Give him half an hour to go to their homes and wake them and get their equipment and meet you there. It will be done.
Where's our Sidon leader buddy?
Is Gaius still up in his chambers?
Gaius.
Commander Gaius.
Yeah.
Indeed, he is still, as far as I know, I haven't seen him come out, back there with his personal guard.
If he happened to hypothetically die tonight, do you believe that would have a negative impact?
I believe the Titan King would not take kindly to that.
Well, I'm saying, if he interfered tonight. Know what I mean?
If he interfered?
Yeah, would he?
I would be surprised for him to do that.
He would trust.
He believes the will of Sidon is irrefutable and all-powerful.
Right,
And so if Anora were to be left on the rock, then he would leave it up to the will of Sidon, whatever it may be.
Okay.
I'm not saying he wouldn't interfere. It would just be very surprising and very unlike him.
Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to know. I mean, if he's got a problem, I have a centaur. So
I would tread carefully. He is
crafty, death
powerful.
deserving.
Yes, but powerful.
Yeah, that's
as are those who travel with him.
For you to call him powerful, that son of a bitch must be. Okay. Are we ready? Oh, Basilisk turn people to stone. Do you have an apothecary or potion master or anything that might be able to reverse the effects of stone? Or, healing potion, just a little smidge to that earth surface.
We have no house apothecary here in the palace, so to speak, but they often have them in the Agora, if you haven't tried searching there.
Right.
Well, we tried for healing potions, that was a bust, but we didn't try for anything to reverse the effects of petrification, so maybe why not? Let's go give that a stab.
Wait.
What?
What do you mean you tried for healing potions? It was a bust? I'm not sure what...
Yeah, they wanted...
They're basically committing kind of highway robbery down there.
Desperate times call for desperate measures and
It's
people.
125 gold for a healing potion now.
That's literally 2.5 cows. That's ridiculous.
He pulls out a coin purse and tosses you 500 gold.
Jesus Christ.
And a little sack lands on the ground.
Your own struggles to lift it.
I don't want to strangle somebody out there for trying to make ends meet for their family, but this should get you the potions that you were looking for.
Thank you.
Indeed.
Okay.
Bow and just
Bow. Back up. Bow.
wish us luck.
Sweet.
Good luck. I hope to hear back soon with good news, more good news. Thank you for everything again. Gods be with you. Down. So, are y'all gonna head anywhere else before going to the Rock of Estoria?
While we're down in the Agora, I want to go talk to Theracles real quick.
Okay.
Are you gonna go buy
So-
those health potions too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's easy enough. Were you gonna say something like us?
Oh no, I was
And-
saying and petrification.
Or at least a mirror.
Anything magical or special, basically aside for the healing potions, is largely sold out. Healing potions you can grab easily enough on your way. You just go there, toss down the satchel, count it out. Takes you a couple of minutes. You have 3 potions of healing. Sionis, you wanted to swing by Theracles on the way?
Yep.
Yes?
Yep.
Oh. What are you looking for, Lycus? You had a look. Were you confused about something?
No, I was just making sure. So they had nothing for. Nobody had anything for curing petrification. You said.
He did not have anything. Like, he doesn't stock. He doesn't know anything about anything. Roll me a persuasion check.
That's a 2. Well,
Okay.
well, actually, it's with my modifier. That's now it's a 6.
All right, so you get the sense that maybe a couple of the local herbalists and dabblers in magic
apothecary.
may have stuff like that, but even if they did, they're not willing to part considering the circumstances at hand. You weren't able to get through to them.
Yeah.
There are some of them. Some of them just have no idea anything about it. You give me a nature check, Lycus, since you're very concerned with this. Well,
12.
12. Okay. We will resolve that. Let's take a break. We are back. You're waiting to roll a nature check. Alright, so we're visiting Theracles. You're rolling a nature check for a question you asked, which you can ask again. You rolled a nature check, Lycus, and you also want to go visit the reliquary you're on.
I might
On the
change my
way
mind
to-
on that.
Okay. Now that you realize what the horn does.
Now that I realize what the horn does, yes. I'm holding
Funny
on
how
to
that works. That's fine. Alright, so real quick, Lycus, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I rolled a 12.
Okay. We'll say with your background, you would have actually rolled because you had your proficiency because of the nature of this check, what I wanted to see. As you were talking about, some alchemists know how to have like depetrification type things, but you know specifically with basilisks that their bodies, the fluids within them can be carefully extracted and processed in a unique way to create anti-petrification oils, for lack
Kind
of
of
a
like
better
an
term.
antitoxin
Yeah,
or
basically.
antivenom. I need the venom to make the antivenom.
Exactly.
Fuck.
you are familiar with that.
Yeah.
It's not really a poison, so I wouldn't say that you automatically know how to do it, but you could probably experiment with it, have a chance of figuring it out.
I mean, I know venoms and poisons pretty well, so it's like, I just got to do the other half. I'm not trying to actually kill them, I'm trying to heal them from it.
Exactly.
Okay, so I guess if possible, on that note, it'd be like, let me see if anyone has any venom or poisons of basilisk.
So just in accordance with what I said earlier, basically only non-mundane stuff you guys were able to find along those lines was the healing potions. Everything's been tapped out.
No essence of
There, just like all the toilet paper is sold out, right?
Yeah.
So that kind of environment's going on right now, very much so. So do y'all want to wait? You're on nature check.
Nature check, I rolled a 10, and the question that preceded the nature check is, can basilisks be petrified by their own reflection?
So with a 10, I would say you do know that basilisks obviously have the ability to petrify things. It seems to correlate with looking at them, gazing upon them, similar to Medusa. But as far as whether or not they can petrify themselves, you don't know. Let's see, is there anything else you would know? You know that after petrifying them, and this helps with what you've seen as well, they have very, very large, powerful jaws with kind of dull teeth. So they petrify a target,
and then they eat it by grinding it.
And then their jaws are so powerful, they're able to break through the stone and grind it up and consume it. And that's how they feed.
Ew.
Got it? Okay. So, Cyan, go ahead. You had another question?
I was just saying, maybe as we're walking, I'm gonna, as we're walking towards the reliquary, I'm just gonna go, actually, it might be a good idea to hang on to this. The horn can do other things than just make you hallucinate. Might be useful. Might also lose it, but might be useful.
Hell yeah, drinks for free.
All right. You divert from the going to the Dragon Shrine. You're still going to go see Theracles as a group, or just one or two of you? What are y'all doing?
I mean, did anyone want to join me with that?
I could, considering I was blackout, gone when Karina ended up seeing her parents. Be good to make sure she's all right.
Yeah, all right.
I think you're muted, Julia. Oh no, it's broken. Can you hear her, Josh?
Is that better?
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. I want to just go to the rock.
Okay.
Maybe like take a few practice swings with my new hammer. Just kind of like get the feel for it, the balance of it, things like that. And while I'm waiting for everybody, you know.
Okay. You got it. Lycus?
I'm tapped out on everything. I'm good to go. Let's go.
Okay, who are you going with? They're splitting up.
I'm going with Ina.
Okay.
I want to see this badass hammer.
See you guys in a bit.
Okay. Kira's gonna go with y'all to the rock as well.
Yay.
Alright, so go visit the vineyards. You make your way from the Agora to the north a little bit, traveling east along the road as you pass through the cleft in the mountain towards the vineyards. The road kind of cuts through this narrow chasm that's largely protected on both sides, and then it kind of opens up into a small depression, almost crater-like, and stretching for a mile or two are just all these small little hovels. They're nicely built and constructed in very, very similar style to the rest of Estoria, but all you see are vineyards and vineyards and vineyards. There's wooden trellises kind of popping up all over the place, and neatly tilled soil and healthy green vines are winding around everything. The smell just flourishes in your nose, a beautiful flowery olive type scent. And more so than olives, you don't smell them as much, but you see grapes are the predominant crop growing here. Very much a wine production type feel.
At the very least, if you can't provide us anything, at least let him give us a bottle to take with us.
I mean, I'll probably end up asking for more than a bottle.
Satyr.
So you walk along these roads, they kind of give way to a more dusty, naturalistic type passageway, going through all these various little trails between the houses and the vineyards. And after about 5 minutes or so, you hear Karina's voice. She's kind of laughing, and you see her a little bit off in the distance, 50 feet or so. She's kind of running in and out of the various vineyards, hiding and playing tag with Patreus. You see Theracles over there kind of half-tilling the soil, and does stop often and kind of just prop himself up on the hoe and watch them. You see him smile wistfully at them. Approach.
Yeah. I start walking up towards Theracles, and I'm like, hey, I gotta kind of make this quick. But, first off, wanted to see you guys, make sure you're all good.
Oh, we're wonderful. Thank you.
Euron's trying not to cry.
He sees you and returns the sentiment.
And, second thing. Would you happen to know anyone in town that might possibly have a inclination towards monster hunting?
Or at least a good sword arm. Or bow, whatever weapon variation they prefer.
There are several of my former and current friends in the city guard. As far as outside of that, I'm a little rusty, but I know my way around a blade and tracking beasts.
Alright, because we might need some help killing a few basilisks.
Well, I've never fought them before, but if you need help, have it.
Also, by any
Brought my daughter
chance,
back.
I saw there were some very lovely olive groves on the way. You wouldn't happen to have a small case of oil we could use?
No, it's become too expensive. Much of it has been exported to try and pay for basic foodstuffs the last few months.
Okay.
I have wine and bread and cheese, things of that nature, but we're getting by on very little lately, as is everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, I know your history in the city. Would you maybe possibly have any pull to possibly get me a better spear?
I don't have a spear, but I have something that is similar. I don't know if it will work for you.
Come.
But I was going to give this to you when you visited anyway, so it's as a thank you reward.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Much appreciated.
That's the least I can do. Let me talk to Patreus. I'll get my equipment and meet you here. Just give me a few minutes to say goodbye. I'll grab the heirloom and be right back. He puts the hoe down up against the trellis near him, and he kind of walks over and calls over Patreus and Karina in and talk for a moment. Karina kind of like puts her hands down and fists for a second and stomps her foot a little bit. and he just kind of calms her down, and they hug. And he turns and walks off, and you see Patreus and Karina just kind of hug each other and then walk in towards the house behind him. After 2 or 3 minutes, he comes back out. He has a pack and a bow, and a little short sword on his side, and he's carrying a long javelin. Has a silverish handle. The majority of it is made out of bronze, but the tip is very unique. You saw a very similar one on the back of Commander Gaius. It isn't straight like a normal javelin. It almost zigzags a little bit, almost in a multiple Z type shape on the very end, going forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. Very finely crafted. And he walks up and he says, "This was a weapon my father used in the First War. Not my father, I don't know how many generations back that would be now. Anyway, said to be quite powerful. I myself never attempted to bond with it because I felt I didn't do it service, but perhaps you will find some use from it. Whichever one of you would like it." And he holds it out to you.
And I go ahead and take it from him.
Okay. As you take it from his hand, you reach over and you have a little, almost like a little static electricity shock as you grasp it and pick it up, and it feels quite natural to twirl it around and move it. It's balanced very well, crafted very well. So, I've said my goodbyes. I'm ready to go wherever we need, whatever we need.
Thank you. Euron's going to kind of cup her hands and yell over to Karina and Patreus and go, "We will bring him back in one piece."
Karina will look out the window, and she kind of half-heartedly puts her hands up and smiles a little bit and watches as you return to walk away back out of the vineyard. Dust kicking up as the wind comes through the valley, blowing your cloaks about you. Head back towards the city of Estoria proper. Aina and Lycus and Kira, they're walking back. You arrive at the Rock of Esther. It is a, you know what? Pull up the so you can see on the map of Estoria, down there by the south gate, just off to the west, the Rock of Esther itself. Jutting out of the shallows there at the Arcanum River. It's really, given the implication of how momentous and ritualistic this rock is, it's rather unimpressive, really. It rises up out of the water about 1.5 feet. It's a flat surface. It's about 15 feet across in any direction. As you get closer in the water, you can wade through the water here, and you can see you could go all the way across the bank to the other side of the river if you chose to. There's obviously various dark stains around a single iron pole that's kind of crammed in the middle with multiple cracks around it, and a couple of heavy chains are laid out from the pole. From the north, the Arcanum River kind of rushes towards you, kicking up water, bouncing over the rocks, and then as it reaches this ford, the ground sloping up naturally kind of calms it down, so it just ripples over the passage in front of you before resuming its torrential pour to the south beyond it.
Oh, like my love life, how unimpressive.
You get the sense that the water is at its deepest about 2 to 3 feet in the middle of it, before obviously shallowing out on either side. So, you hang out there. You're welcome to talk to each other or talk to Kira while the other 2, now 3 party members are in tow. Anything you'd like to discuss before people start arriving?
Oh, I'm just focused solely on Pythor's hammer.
And Kira sits over there on the riverbank, just kind of scribing on some parchment, as is typical.
Who the hell thought this was the best place to put this thing? And how the hell is this the norm? Kira, are other places, do they all have rocks of esters?
Well, considering Estor was the guy who founded the city.
Well,
Exactly.
not literally rock of Estor, but... Oh, hi, I'm the guy who started the city. Here's a rock. Let's sacrifice motherfuckers to it. Brilliant.
Well, the rock is called so. Obviously, the city is named after Estor Arcalander, one of the original Dragon Lords, as is the River Arcalon. The Rock of Estor is named so because, as legend has it, he was able to hold back an entire company of Centaur on the opposite side of the river at this choke point, as they were trying to go around the North Gate and find another entryway into Estoria during the First War. He made his stand here and held them back, or so the story says. Since then, it's become known as that, and the Order of Sidon performs their sacrifices here, kind of to thumb their nose at the Dragon Lords.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah.
But yes, many places have their own sacrificial, ritualistic places of whatever reason is important to that local culture.
I take it you never saw the spot in Mitros.
Who were you addressing that to?
Lycus.
No. Nope. No, obviously not. There's nothing for me to be a part of this nonsense.
I had to stand guard on quite a few of them.
That sounds terrible.
I did as I was ordered.
Fuck that. You won't see me ordered to do any of that shit.
Well, it wasn't all to Sidon. I mean, there were regular ones, as every city must.
Ridiculous.
We made regular offerings, not of full sacrifices
humans.
like that, but...
Absolutely ridiculous. How about
Hey!
Eric? You're not
Hey!
a human.
I was!
Ooh. Was. Keyword. And then fucker's sister did this to you. So, fuck him. And his stupid rock. Alright.
Okay, we'll continue this conversation later, but on that point, yes, I agree. Can I...
Several of the scouts, 3 scouts come walking up, looking around, and Theracles talks to him a little bit and comes over to you. So, what's the plan?
We need to go track down wherever these basilisks are. And then we need to come back here and kind of just basically guard the area.
We know that I know they come out of the water from sort of that direction and this direction, but they have to gather somewhere, and we would like to work out where it is, and potentially, if you're willing, do some spring cleaning on their nest.
All right. Well, let's go this way. And he starts leading his way across the river, trudging through the water, going up to almost waist height before getting to the other side, and they proceed north along the western bank of the Arcalon, looking for any signs of these basilisks, since you said they came from that direction. Somebody roll me a survival check for them to track these creatures. While they're doing so, I know that Ina is focused on the Hammer of Pythor. Is anybody else doing anything?
I'm concentrating on whatever spear javelin thing that Theracles gave me.
I will try and
I don't know
help.
exactly what it was.
I'll try and help a bit with the scouting.
All right, so roll once for them. Well, we'll give them advantage, so just roll again.
Thank you. The second one was an out one. 15.
All right. All right. So, after traveling for about 30 minutes, they kind of hone in on what appear to be rocks on the side of the river. But as they wave you over, upon closer inspection, you see what appears to be a hoof of some type, made out of stone, or seemingly made out of stone, almost like a cow. And then you see a little further up what appears to be a hand, like a humanoid hand. And so they kind of nod to each other on the right track. They continue tracking. About 10-15 minutes later, you find these very large, almost kind of webbed footprints on the bank. And further up ahead on the river, quite a distance off you see a large hill. The water of the Arcanum comes down south and then kind of turns to the east a little bit where this hill is, then continues south in your direction. And they point to the hill and they seem to be headed in that direction. Okay. So you, after an hour has passed, Aina, you are attuned to Pythor's hammer. You figure out all the cool stuff you can do. If you want to show any of that stuff off. Sionis, you, after playing with this javelin, you kind of like strike out with it a couple times and you chuck it. A word comes into your mind. It can be any word you like. It's essentially a command word, so you feel free to make up the command word. That's going to be the command word from now on. You have identified this as a javelin of lightning. So you see, as you're walking around, Sionis has been kind of like tossing it ahead of you, and then when you walk, he picks it up and tosses it again, and then just as you're coming upon the hill, he kind of tosses it at a tree. And you hear him say this strange word, and as it leaves his hand, it kind of quickly transforms into a bolt of lightning that streaks out towards a tree before rematerializing into a javelin and slamming into the tree, and sparks fly off the tree, and the tree splits in two and cracks open. What's your command word?
I mean, I'll figure something out.
Okay, you got it.
Leviosa.
Leviosa. All right. So you get up to where the hill is, and they don't see any more tracks around. Start looking around, clambering over the hill, and they look down into the water, and you see the water gets much deeper and darker at the base of the hill where it runs into the river. They kind of point around, look, and it seems to be through the relatively clear water and still in this area because of the way it turns. It's almost like a slough underwater, a pathway underwater into the hill. This is probably where they're nested at. They like to nest underground and come out to feed. That's also where they breed. Usually small groups, what my friends tell me.
So is
What would you like to do?
Is the whole passageway underwater?
It is.
They can't breathe underwater, can they?
Talking about basilisks?
Yeah.
As far as we know, no, they have nostrils, they breathe air.
Okay. I'll call everyone else over, first of all. And sort of whistle and beckon everybody over.
I will gather around Euron.
And, how long can everyone hold their breath?
All the way up to the point I drown.
You are fully aware of what I mean when I ask that question.
And that is 100% honest answer.
I'm aware of that, but that is not the answer I was hoping for, Lycus.
Does anybody know how to swim?
So mechanically, as far as holding your breath goes, it's a number of minutes equal to 1 plus your Constitution modifier. And as far as swimming, it's kind of assumed that you can all swim. At least you heroes can all swim. It's not necessarily a universal trait by any means, but it would be mechanically. It's half your movement speed, unless you have a dedicated swimming speed for some reason, or something else that precludes it. So, FYI.
Then I guess we're going swimming.
Okay, so what happens when we come out on the other side and they are there? How do we deal with them?
We hopefully try and sneak up and don't start gasping for breath.
So as long as they don't do okay. Ina's confused. Do I have to make eye contact with them in order to be turned to stone?
Yes.
So I can look at them, just not into their eyes.
I believe
So
if you look down.
What you saw, Euron, when they sacrificed the cows. The cows were sitting there bucking and trying to avert their gaze, but as the basilisks were hissing at them and kind of maneuvering, it's like they were fighting to keep their gaze averted. So you get the sense that they can almost force you to look at them unless you have a blindfold or keep your eyes shut or something of the type.
You might be better off just closing your eyes. If I did see correctly, they can compel you into meeting their gaze.
Okay, that is good to know.
And unfortunately, despite the fact that I can do something similar, I'm not immune to it, so I'm also going to have to be fighting blind. Which honestly, that is bullshit. I should be a little more resistant to these things. I understand that it will petrify, that I could petrify myself, but never mind. That's a round for another day.
Alright.
I want to ask the scouts, do they normally come out at night to feed? Are they like nocturnal animals most of the time? Like, can we assume that they're sleeping now since it's still daylight?
Generally, they come out to feed at night because they prefer to ambush their prey, as far as we know. However, there have been attacks during the days. It's not guaranteed by any means.
Okay.
I believe the one I saw was at sundown.
Okay. All right. Ina's tail's twitching. She's like kind of prancing a little bit. She's ready. Let's just go.
Heracles, might I suggest you and the scouts stand guard out here? I do not wish to make Betrayus a widow.
If that's what you all want.
If we are vastly outnumbered, one of us will return and grab you. That much. Or if you perhaps hear very frantic screaming. There's that too.
Alright. We'll do that. And he starts issuing orders, and they kind of spread out around the hill, one on top of the sides. So, you get in the water?
How deep is it?
So you get down into the water. The entrance is about 15 feet down, as far as you can tell. It's a relatively large hole, irregularly shaped, about 6 feet in diameter, give or take, with rocky outcroppings kind of jutting in. You can make your way through it relatively easily. The bottom is kind of this slick mud that you can see various like tail swipes and things have carved through it over time. You swim forward about 40-50 feet and kind of sense the water break. You see a little bit of a, as the light filters in, it kind of stops at a vertical wall. You go up, break the surface, try to glance around, but everything is pitch black all around you, except for those with dark vision, which I believe is just Euron.
Just me. Oh God.
So, Euron, you see this tunnel opens up to about, it varies, 10 to 20 feet wide at various places in front of you, leading into the darkness ahead of you. Off in the very distance, you see the gray outlines of large stalagmites climbing up out of the ground as water drips down from the surface. You get this kind of musty, dank smell, and the air in here is very, very cool and very damp. The ground itself is made largely of a pasty mixture of mud, and off in the distance, kind of echoing throughout the cavern, somewhere in the darkness ahead, you hear these guttural sounds. Put y'all on a map.
Battle music.
Battle music yet.
Also, just imagine for the moment that the snakes are just not happy with being soaking wet, and Euron's like got her hand down, like just like shush, shush, as they're all like violently trying to shake off.
All right, so before we get started, just out of character question for the DM.
Mm-hmm.
Would javelins be able to have the same properties as spears if used in melee?
No,
okay.
They're a different weapon.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, because you're not proficient with javelins, are you?
No.
I know his video. So everybody besides Euron, as of right now, is effectively blinded without a light source.
Hey, do y'all want light? Y'all want some light? Okay. I'm gonna cast guiding lights, but
okay,
I'm gonna keep it low.
Okay. What does guiding light say again?
It's just gonna be boom
yeah,
lights.
I got it.
5 lights show up. Orbs all around.
Okay. They kind of hovering around each party member. Are you keeping them all in front of you? What do you center around you?
Who's in the lead? Because I know we haven't picked our marching order yet. But whoever's in dark vision, I assume, is in front.
Yes, I'll go in front.
Yeah, and then so kind of like behind her, and then kind of spread out the rest of us.
You got it. All right, so Euron's in front. Everybody else establish your
dancing light, not guiding light. Dancing lights.
So I was confused by guiding light, so I actually explained it.
I'm looking at
I thought it was one of the new ones that I didn't know.
It's 4 torch-sized lights within range. They're going to be glowing orbs. They hover in the air. I could combine 4 of them into a vaguely humanoid form of medium size, whichever form I choose. And each light will shed dim light, 10-foot radius.
Got it. Dim light, 10-foot radius, each of them centered around y'all, or each individual. Just tell me if you want to do anything special with them.
Okay.
Dave is in front of you. What would you like to do?
I listen. Do I hear anything other than water and my party breathing?
Give me a perception check.
I would like to assist with that.
You can both listen, so roll with advantage, Anna. 18. Okay. So you hear the kind of guttural muffled noises coming from somewhere deeper in the chamber. With that roll, you notice it seemed to be echoing in a way that is more like they're bouncing off up ahead from the left, if that helps you. Aside from that and dripping water and breathing and footsteps in the muck, you don't hear.
Okay. I think I hear something forward and to the left, so Be on guard, guys.
Right. Then I guess let's move forward, and as quietly as we possibly can. I hope this armor actually stays silent.
Alright. Everybody roll me stealth checks, please.
I'm good. I'm a natural, y'all.
And remember, disadvantage for armor and stuff like that, please. Cool. That was horrible. Yeah. Okay. So, Austin.
Got a 12.
12. Ina.
5.
5. Lycus.
That's a 13 plus 4, 17.
Okay. You're on. 2. Okay.
So I'm the stealthiest motherfucker in this group of loud, clattering bitches.
As you proceed into the chamber, every so often you hear Euron's foot kind of get stuck in the muck. As she pulls it out, the shield will kind of like against her breastplate, things like that, kind of echo throughout the darkness.
And she's trying to quiet it down, which is making it even worse. And like trying to slam down like the breastplate, like the armor will clang elsewhere, and trying to stop the arm, and then the elbow bangs into something.
What are you doing?
Gonna start moving forward and sort of maybe get to the edge of this corner and peek.
All right. The tunnel opens up. The cavern ceiling, about 20 feet or so tall, as far as you can tell. And you see more stalagmites as the chamber opens up into this expansive underground cavern to your left and off to your right. So these stalagmites, many of them are small, but some of them are large enough to basically hide your entire body behind, 5-6 feet in diameter at the very base.
I will come up and throw those lights out. One of them will stay around us to give the 10 feet, and then
Okay.
I want to send 3 of them, like kind of coursing along the ceiling area, kind of just shedding light around the area.
Got it. You see the cavern itself. It kind of comes to a V that's very, very wide. You could choose basically to go left or go to the right. You see more stalagmites and stalactites dripping down. The ground you're on slopes down a little bit, making it almost precarious, although you can sink down an inch or two and find relatively firm ground, so you don't slip or anything. But you get the sense that the floor is kind of slippery and mucky throughout this chamber. Get stronger odors of an animalistic scent, kind of like refuse, coming from the left and from the right.
There's shit on both sides. It's just terrible. I just had these boots polished. Now I'm soaking wet, and they'll have shit on them.
Shh. Out of curiosity, this is Arya's player knowledge, having been grabbed by something before. Can she see anything on the ceiling? Is it just a regular ceiling, or is there something on the ceiling?
Aside from stalactites and the relatively smooth, rocky surface that kind of glistens a little bit with the arcane light from the dancing lights, you don't see anything else.
Okay. Then I would like to move forward and get behind, sort of by the stalactites, so that I can peer around and see if I can see anything.
You get the sense, looking around, the chamber is just very large, relatively consistent throughout, stalagmites, stalactites, muck on the bottom. Sounds are getting louder as you proceed more towards the left, coming from kind of a northwesterly direction.
Sorry, the sounds are coming from the northwesterly direction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to kind of point in that direction. And then I'm going to move forward and try and get behind the next stalactite. Might, not tight.
Okay. Same as I said before. Stalagmites off to the right and to the left. Open chamber. Increasingly louder sounds as you get closer and closer in this direction.
Is there any mud prints or anything?
Give me a survival check.
Kind of looking down. If I have to walk in this fucking nasty refuse, I'm definitely looking down.
Got it.
11 survival. 12.
Okay. So looking down as you're walking through the tunnel and off to the left, you do see tracks that lead in and out of the cave. The freshest ones appear to lead out of the cave. There are, in this general direction you're heading towards the sound, there are many that go that way, but there's also some that split off and traveled more to the right that were coming into the cave, like in that direction. So it's kind of like an in and out type thing. They split off left and right. The freshest ones, the ones that just let out. Kind of confuse you?
Yeah.
Or are you just thinking?
Absolutely confused.
Okay.
It sounds like you just said that they left.
I get the coming and going tracks. So, yeah, I was gonna say, so are you saying that it looks like they just freshly left?
A set of basilisks. The most recent tracks you see are going out of the cave. There are tracks heading in both directions.
The way we
Correct.
came. Yeah.
Correct. There are tracks heading in both directions that go to the left and to the right inside the cave.
Okay, so they're prepping for dinner.
Alright. Creep a bit farther. There.
Okay. So yeah, I'll let them know. But like, hey, they're coming and going. They're all over the place.
And we need to go ahead and kill what's ever in here before they come back.
All right, let's go. Let's. I think we just pick one or hug the left wall. Just hug a wall and just go.
Alright, left it is. Do you think they heard us?
If they haven't smelled us, I'm sure they will soon.
The cavern that heads wall kind of peels down to the south. You see at the very limit of your distance a 10-foot ledge, kind of an outcropping that comes from the side of the wall. Don't hear any sounds coming from that direct southwesterly direction.
More
They
coming
still
from
seem to
the
be
north?
coming from the northwest. Yes.
Then more back this way, and points in that direction. I'm gonna head up to this stalagmite.
Should we maybe like cover ourselves in this mud to kind of hide our scent a little bit? Would that help us get closer to them without them realizing we're here, do you think?
It might not, and just mean that we're covered in mud.
You want me to what?
Well, I was like addressing Euron as our resident snake expert. If it would be helpful.
I'm gonna just round the corner.
For the record,
Entertaining then.
I'm scared shitless of snakes.
Ina's gonna lay in the mud.
And yes, I know the...
Cover herself in it, because I don't care. I'd rather them not know I'm here. There's water to leave, so I can rinse off a little bit there, you know.
What little I know is that snakes operate more on smell than by, sensing heat or hearing, so it's either that or And as much as I would love to douse myself in perfume and confuse their noses, that does tend to lend to, hey, there's something here that shouldn't be. And yes, I know it doesn't make sense that I'm scared of snakes, considering I have many on my head. I've just gotten used to these ones.
That's what I'm thinking. If we smell like their lair, they might not notice us as readily.
Fuck it might just make my armor quieter, and she'll just kind of scoop some handfuls and try and press them between, like, plates. Try and at least muffle the sound.
Okay. Anybody else? Ina and you're on. Lycus is not. Linus, are you mudding up or no?
I'll at least get it on my arms. So, just sort of.
Okay. Ina and you're on. Go ahead and give me another stealth check. And whether it's this one or the last one, whichever one is higher is the one we'll stick with.
Oh. 15.
Okay.
12!
All right.
That's so much better than 2. Oh wait, should I be rolling with disadvantage again?
Yeah, you're still wearing armor, probably.
Son of a bitch. 7.
Okay.
Still better than 2.
Still better
Still
than
better
2.
than 2. All right. So, mudded up, looking around. Let's see. You're on. Well, first, Lycus. The orbs, you had spread them out. Are you keeping them spread out this whole time? And how far out?
Well, guys, how far out would you like these?
Whatever works for all of you.
Yeah, put them
I can
further
put 'em
out so I can
60
see
feet out.
where I'm going. I don't want to be in the light, but let me
Okay.
see where I'm going.
Are we gonna follow the wall, or where are you going? I thought we were just gonna follow the wall.
They're not coming from that way.
Yeah, but it will.
Yes, eventually it will lead us where we want to go, but
Okay.
that gives them that many more minutes to discover us.
Okay. I'm gonna blast them one over us, and the rest of them are gonna be blasted forward 60 feet.
Okay.
In a 10, 12, 2.
Yeah, let's try to use these stalagmites as much as possible for cover.
I have balls of floating light in pure darkness.
That's why I
Yeah.
said put them over there, not by us.
Oh, then I send these bitches out all over. Hell yeah.
Okay. I'm going to reveal the map. As these lights kind of float, glowing orbs throughout the chamber, dodging around stalagmites and stalactites, you see several outcroppings along the walls. Left and to the right, you see the cavern before you. Directly to your northwest, there's a small little plateau that kind of rises up and snakes around. As it passes over a couple places, you see these very, very large reptilian creatures kind of dart just on the edge of the light's view. One directly to the northwest on this risen plateau type area, and then one almost directly to the north in this little alcove. I'm going to reveal the map, but they kind of, since the orbs are kind of darting around, kind of like catch a shadow as it glances over them before it continues on its way. And you're welcome to come back and highlight them or try to highlight them if you want.
And those are farther than 60 feet away? The ones that were moving?
I think he's gonna show us.
Those were just on the edge of 60 feet. I'm giving you a little bit of extra map as well.
Thank you.
Also, one point of interest off to the left, as they passed over the ground, you saw these very, very large bones kind of half sunk into the muck. Some type of strange, long dead reptilian beast, it appears like, kind of splayed out, just a random skeleton down here in the muck of the cavern below.
Doesn't happen to look like a dragon, does it?
No, just another very large.
Not really.
Avian.
Honestly, no. But it seems to have a thick torso and these really strange extended limbs, where the hands coming off have like these 3 large fingers on each one, and a little short tail with almost a bird-like face. Very strange.
Would I have heard of anything like this before out of stories or?
A very strange thing down here in the muck of the darkness.
Huh, that's weird. What's that?
Shh.
Throwing a light over the carcass.
2 large, massive, yellowed bones, kind of glistening in the light as water drips down on various pieces of them. Huge, empty eye sockets of the skull. Strange ancient beast.
Okay. Yeah, I would try to go ahead and re-identify those 2 basilisk locations.
Send your orbs back over the places that you thought you saw them, and you hone in over one, almost directly to the north of you, kind of darting in and out of stalagmites in a relatively small area.
I mean, I'm not like hovering it right over its head. It's just like in the ceiling, kind of slowly. Okay.
I'm tracking. As it passes over him, you see this 8-foot tall, kind of morbid, grotesque-looking lizard-like creature. It has a huge jaw, squat, muscular arms. Its skin is kind of like this pale purple grayish color, and these sharp spines rise up off of its back in like a foot, covering its back from shoulders all the way down to tail. That kind of wags in the mud behind it. It seems to be kind of hunking along in the muddy surface, sniffing the air, making these guttural hisses and sounds back and forth.
Does it look like it knows that we're here?
Really get that indication, but the light just kind of like briefly goes over it and just kind of comes back over it, searching and finding.
And it does look like the things I saw going after that cow.
It does.
That's it.
Where's the other one?
You see the other one standing up on the raised area. It seems to be kind of laying down. It's not asleep, its head's moving. Every now and then it'll make another one of these guttural shouts back.
Gesundheit.
In that direction.
Yay.
And how many did I see going after that cow? Memory serving.
2.
I saw 2. Okay. I think they might go out 2 at a time, maybe, but I saw 2. I saw 2 before.
Yeah, it's possible. There might be 2 broods here for all we know.
Yeah, they may hunt in pairs.
Mated pairs, probably. Or they're bringing food home. How y'all want to do this?
If we can surprise them, that would be lovely.
Let's take the one out from above first.
You want to hug the left side and then just strike at the one on the left?
Okay.
Yeah, go for the high ground.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
I'm gonna hide here. Y'all spring the trap however y'all want. Spread out.
It sounds like you don't have a whole lot of faith in that plan.
No, I'm a ranged guy. I shoot stuff from, far away. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and dip some darts in poison.
Okay.
So I get 3 ammunition shots for 1 vial.
Okay.
Cyanus, do you think you can sneak up and get the jump on him?
I can try.
Or did you want one of us to go first?
No,
Ooh.
Well,
I was just say, instead of us going to it, why don't you and I hit it from afar, and then when it comes after us, they jump out and stab.
It's not a bad
You guys
idea.
like that plan? Maybe get some damage on it before we're in its range. Okay.
It's right at the edge of how far I can throw a spear.
Yeah.
Anyways.
There you go. So you stand here, he stands here, and then stab.
Alright.
Sounds good.
Be sure to stab. Because if you don't stab, he's going to get to me. So I need you to stab. And I'm whispering this as harshly as possible. Like, stab.
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. How far is this son of a bitch? Oh, he's 45. Oh, I can do this. Alright, DM, you got it?
Yep.
You're so scared. Yeah, so am I. Alright,
Should we go at the same time, or?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Can you hit him from here? How far can you hit him?
Oh yeah, he's within my range for my chakram.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, he's not in mine.
You can't hit him from here?
No, I'm gonna get a little closer.
Okay, you get a little closer, then give me a signal and we'll throw together.
Oh, I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna hide, I'm gonna sneak around this thing with my super sneaky stealthy. Okay.
That does mean it's going to see you first.
I'm going to run. I got this.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Shh. Alright. Y'all are... Hey, quit bringing the negativity. Alright, DM, you got this? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sure you're ready, because look at that smirk on his ass.
I do not like that face at all. Not one little bit.
Alright. 3, 2.
And that's where we're gonna end tonight's session.